I call my virtual appointments Empowered Saddle Fit because they are exactly that. They empower the rider, you, to understand in a more in-depth way saddle fit, but not in a textbook way. So understanding saddle fit in a very textbook way is fantastic. But then we have to take it a step further. It's just like riding, right? So when you learn how to ride, you're learning very like technical ways. Then you develop feel. Saddle fit is exactly the same. You need to understand the individuality, it's always such a hard word for me to say, of your horse and your body position. So, for example, as you get to know your horse, you're going to understand more minute and different signs of tension or ways that they can really isolate their body when they're evading something. Saddle fit is an evolving thing as you get to know your horse better, as you really get to understand it, as your horse's body changes. That does not mean that you're going to constantly need a new saddle, but it might mean that you may need a little adjustment here, you may need a little tweak here, you may need a little shim here one time, you may not need it for something else. And that's not to freak you out. Like, that's not all the time. But it does really improve your relationship when you start to learn and understand saddle fit. And it's so important to have a fitter out or to work with a fitter virtually because there are huge things that get missed. And saddle fit is a lot bigger than just gullet size. Now, a step further, I talk a lot about the horse, but we also work a lot with the rider, right? It is, of course, the saddle has to fit us as well, because if we're compensating and we're not riding at our best, then our horse is going to be compensating for us compensating. Our horse is our mirror. So I'll use myself as an example. I have had a hip replacement. So now that means that the saddles I ride in a little bit of, I prefer a little bit of a different seat to help my seat so that I can help the horse. So I went from being a jumper to dressage to now Western dressage. I fully changed disciplines because I feel as though a flatter Western seat allows my hip to fall a little bit better. That's just me. And that actually helps the horse underneath me. So that's like a very drastic example. But as you get to know yourself as a rider, as you really get to understand how your body moves, how your horse's body moves, biomechanics, you'll start to understand in a little bit more of an in-depth way, working with your trainer and your saddle fitter, what works best for your body and your horse's body. So that we cover a lot of this in the Empowered Saddle Fit educational sessions. So they go beyond just does the saddle fit or does it not fit? How can we make this saddle work the best for you and your horse? Or what do we need to look for to really help you and your horse? So I think that was just a lot of rambling. I don't even know if I had a point, but I hope that that makes sense. And if you have any questions, please post them below. I do offer the virtual fits on my website. I also offer in-person saddle fitting, whether through clinics, which I will travel to a completely different state for clinics. But I also offer in-person saddle fittings in Colorado until November. I have a fitter that works for me in Pennsylvania and New Jersey who's fantastic. She's been fully trained by me. And then I am also offering saddle fittings in person in Oregon and Washington. So I will be there in November for the foreseeable future. So please reach out if you're curious, if I'll be in your area, if you want to schedule a clinic, or if you would like to work with me virtually.